Hello guys, welcome. We are doing a something different. I'm not doing like a ranking that is like just ranking from best or worst to best. This time I'm actually doing a tier list, but instead of being alone, I'm doing it with someone who this is his favorite metal band, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, they are my
But
favorite band.
okay. So I'm doing it with Hayden from Discord.com. How are you doing, Hayden?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, so there are a bunch of albums that I had to basically I basically had to redo my Discog run because there were some albums I just could not remember anything about, and we'll get to that. Um, but we were basically ranking these albums from when they were released. So without further ado, let's just get to the first one. Okay, we have Ember to Inferno. And so, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you want to go first or I want to go first. I
Yeah,
think.
you can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, people say that this is the worst Trivium album overall, like according to like Rate Your Music, because it's below like a point. It's below. It's like a at a 2.5 or something, which is not great on that. Um, and for basically a lot of these songs feel like they've been stripped right out of like Sweden from the 90s. Like they really remind me of. So basically, a lot of these songs remind me of 90s melodic Swedish death metal, which is rich. If you know me, that's a big turn on for me. And so so basically for some of these songs like Pillars of Serpents, I wrote down pretty much it's basically a groove machine. It's a great start to the album. And like from If I Could Collapse the Masses, like and then Fugue is like they're both like straight. They sound straight out of Sweden with like a thrash twist. Some of these songs, there are a couple songs that are just okay, mostly near the bottom. But overall, I have this album pretty. I have it at A, and some. But my drawbacks for this is basically Heafy's vocals are a little like weak literally compared to the second album, and I really like how the bass drum sounds on this. But I have it at A tier. So
Nice. So I'm gonna be honest. This did used to be my least favorite Trivium album, not because I thought it was like terrible or anything. It just never clicked with me. But this last time I went through them all, it actually really clicked with me, and I really love it now. So I had it at B, and yeah, my opinion changed on it a lot. I thought it was a really fun debut. It's like a great mix of like groovy, like '90s groove metal riffs, 90s metalcore, and thrash metal and melodic death metal just all blended so well. And there's so many fun, catchy riffs that are super fast. And I honestly, I don't know, I kind of like Matt's vocals on this because I used to not. Maybe it's just because of like where it is in the mix, but
mm,
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of grown on me. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. My favorites from it are Pillar of Serpents, like you said. That's
yeah.
a classic by them. And then my other two favorites are When All the Light Dies and Requiem.
Um, yeah, Requiem's a good one. I have When All the Light Dies is just like a solid song.
Oh,
Um,
fair, yeah.
so since where do you want to put this? We have to both agree where to put it.
Yeah, so I don't know, cause do you think there's other albums that could be like an A above it? Like maybe that
There
more
this
deserving?
that there I have this is my third favorite album by them. So
Oh, okay, wow, yeah.
there are some that could be like in front of it, but I don't know. I could settle for B. That's fine.
Yeah, put it in B for now, and then if we
Okay,
change our
sure.
minds later, we can move it.
All right. Okay, and the next one is Ascendancy. And if I pronounce something incorrectly, please correct me because I can't read.
I love this album because you need like a dictionary to read the track titles.
Yeah. So actually before we started recording, I listened to like the first a couple tracks of this, and Rain is pretty much just sounds like a thrashy metalcore song. It just
Mm-hmm.
like they just can confuse you with like, is it thrash? Is it metalcore? Is it melodic death? The fuck is it? Um, and I'm gonna be honest. Pull harder on your strings. Overall I think it's a decent song, but like seeing like the stream numbers on it, I think it's the most streamed song on that album. Um,
Oh, is it actually?
I don't. I think it is either that or "Dying in Your Arms." But I'm not sure if it's a hot take, but it's I've never like, it's a good song, but it's never really like spoke to me. Unlike some of the other tracks like, "Drowned and Torn." Um, let's see, a gunshot to the head. I think it's what it called.
Yeah, of Trepidation.
Yeah.
Again, crazy long titles.
Yeah. Some of these songs. Okay, so this is a good song, but there are some of these songs that I feel are half baked, like suffocating sight,
I
and
agree.
maybe departure.
Oh yeah, I think so for
Yeah.
sure.
So for me, personally, I think it's a good album, but I think it's plagued with a couple half baked songs.
Yeah. I totally agree. I honestly, the last four songs I usually don't even listen to. I usually go to "Dying in Your Arms," and then after that, I kind of just change it because those last songs are like good and have some good moments in them. But overall, yeah, I think they are pretty half baked.
Yeah.
Um,
I have this one
and
at B tier.
B, I had it at A, but like the lower end of A, and yeah, like you said about Rain. Rain is such that main riff in Rain is just so fun. Like it's such a cool
Yeah.
riff. Um, But yeah, my favorites from this are like light to the flies, pull harder on the strings of your martyr, and a gunshot to the head of trepidation. I really like. It's just like a great blend of like thrashy parts and that 2000s metalcore sound, and the solos are killer on this. Probably some of my favorites by them. A lot of the melodies are really great, especially during the choruses. And Matt sounds pretty good. I still think his harsh vocals haven't quite developed at this point, but they're pretty all right.
Yeah, personally, Rain and A Gunshot is probably my two favorites off this.
Good picks.
Um, I feel like Heafy's vocals did kind of get better on this one compared to the other one. I do like his vocals on Ember. It's just like when you see how he progressed, you could really see where he started, like
Mm-hmm.
like how rough it kind of was. Me personally, yeah. So I would have this below Ember, to be honest.
Okay, I have it above Ember, so huh. Where do we put it?
Um, to be honest, I let's see,
Because
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
because while his vocals are a little better on here, I feel like at least in my opinion, compared to like Ember, the riffs kind of like fall back a little bit. That's just my opinion.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Because I this is well, I guess I love all the riffs in all their albums, but yeah, I really love the riffs on this.
And
A lot of
but
really
oh,
catchy ones.
also there are less half baked songs on Ember compared to this album in my opinion. So that's also why it's behind it for me. So
Yeah. So I do have it at the end of B on my list, so I could settle for B, but we might get crucified for that. But
it's fine. It's fine.
yeah.
All
And
right.
again, we can move it later.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Now we're at the Crusade. And before I even talk about it, I'm just gonna say that this album did grow on me a little bit. Just so if Katza is watching this, yes, it did grow a little bit, a tad bit. So with Ignition, um, when people say like Trivium is basically like a Metallica ripoff, like you can hear like the Justice or Black album, like James in his voice, but that's literally it. Just Ignition just is one of those examples. Um, let's see here. Detonation is really groovy, pretty good riffs and chorus. Um, entrance of Conflagration. I thought it was decent, but not that great. Anthem, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Anthem just sounds like an Iron Maiden worship song.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
it's not really one of my favorites. Uh, um, in sadness will sheer. Not really that great to be
I
honest.
agree. That I think that one's pretty weak.
Um, I thought Becoming the Dragon was solid. To the Rats was my favorite. Like my first time hearing it, and also I think that This World Can't Tear Us Apart. I'm not sure. And The Rising. God, it's another one of those half baked ones in my opinion. And
Oh, half baked's an understatement.
yeah. And okay, the Crusade, the instrumental. Is it an instrumental? I don't
Yeah, it
remember any
is.
vocal.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I I I did not really enjoy that one. So me personally, the reason there are some songs that like Detonation. I didn't have Detonation on my liked before I listened to it again. Some songs did grow on me, but otherwise, I had this at low B and high C tier. It just went up a little bit in enjoyment for me. I think a lot of like the half baked stuff, kind of draw it back. But yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, nice. So I do really like this album. I think it just has a lot of problems that really weigh it down, especially with how many songs are on it. If they would have cut it down to like 8 to 10 songs, I feel like it would have been a lot higher for me. But like songs like The Rising is like the band memes about how bad that song is. I remember like someone commented on Corey, the guitarist, Instagram like, "Hey, any idea what the set list is gonna look like this tour?" And he just replied, "The Rising" 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
That was really great. But yeah, like The Rising, the title track instrumental. They're the title track is like has cool parts to it, but it's so long and just kind of overdone. And also, what's the others? I'm blinking on the 1 second. Oh yeah, and Sadness Will Sear I think is a bit weak. And the rest are good. My favorites are Ignition, Detonation, and Becoming the Dragon. Though Becoming the Dragon is pretty much just like proto Shogun. That's pretty much they
Yeah.
just kind of built off of that song into the next album, and well, I mean, worked out pretty well for that. But yeah, I love the like mix of new wave of British heavy metal and thrash metal influences that they kind of mashed together on this. There's a lot of really cool technical riffs and stuff that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I had a Becoming the Dragon as a good song on here too. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know why, but is it unrepentant?
yeah.
That the riff kind of reminds me of Lords of Summer by Metallica for some reason. I'm not sure why. Probably because of like
I can't remember that song actually. The
damn.
Lords of Summer one. I don't remember that honestly.
Um, but yeah. So I had this at low B, high C tier.
Yeah, I had it in B too.
So I don't. Would you settle for C?
Yeah, yeah, we can do C because it does
Okay.
have some problems that
Yeah.
really weigh it down.
Yeah. And okay, moving on.
Yep, yep. We can move on.
Okay, in waves. Not really. Okay. Okay, so there is a lot to say about Shogun. Um, but to keep this video at like a relatively decent length, this is pretty much their like magnum opus, like the best thing they've ever done in my opinion. I know like
Hmm.
some people may disagree. I don't really surround myself with Trivium fans besides like the ones that worship Shogun. Um, the title track has no reason to be 11
Oh,
minutes.
absolutely. Yeah. I was gonna
That
say that. Dang it!
that
You
I
stole it from
I'm
me.
joking. It's an inside joke for those who.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Down from the Sky is pretty much my favorite off this, mostly because of like the second section of the song. It's just ridiculously heavy,
Hmm.
and he who spawned I almost said furries, the Furies. For some reason that verse melody just speaks to me, and I really enjoy it. Um, like a Callisto to a Star in Heaven is a song about consent. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, okay, and is it Kirsti Goman? Is that how you
I
say
think
it?
it's pronounced Kirste Gomen.
Kirsti Goman. Um, it's like one of the best openers in metalcore history because especially the intro is just gorgeous. Um, the only I do enjoy the Calamity, but pretty much most people agree that that's like the only like half baked song on here and the weakest song on here.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I pretty much enjoy this album. I don't enjoy it as much as like people in my Discord or you
Me.
perhaps,
Yeah.
but I do think it's a great album.
Yeah. So, Shogun is not only my favorite Trivium album, it's my favorite metal album of all time, and it's also my second favorite album overall. I love like everything I love about metal is in this album. Like, there's brutal parts, there's melodic, pretty parts. It mixes melodic death metal, metalcore, and thrash metal so well into like a perfect beast. And I could probably go off on every one of these songs because almost all of them I think are 10 out of 10s. Like you said, the Calamity is weaker, but all the others I love. Picking it's really hard to pick favorites from this, but if I had to, probably like Kirste Gomen. Let me pull my notes quick. Kirste Gomen, Torn Between Still and Charybdis, the title track, Insurrection, Throes of Perdition, and yeah, really any of them can be my favorites depending on the day. And also, I love this is probably the most brutal Matt ever sounded, especially on the bonus tracks. He just does like straight up death growls on them. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and yeah, I feel like I don't even have like the words to describe this album. Like I just love it more than anything. This is my favorite metal album. Absolutely S.
Yeah, D tier. Anyway, moving
Yeah,
on.
yeah, no, F tier actually.
Yeah, we this is an album we both agree on, so there's no really
Yeah,
discussion when it
easy.
comes to the placement. All right. Anyway, next up we have In Waves, which also this is another album that grew on me because I didn't have it like low last time. I had it in A, but I wasn't crazy about it. So basically, I remember you saying that the title track like overshadows like the rest of the songs. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the main riff. Usually that main riff would not be my style, but for some reason it just clicks with me. It like the song kind of reminds me of In Flames sometimes.
In Flames and Waves.
Yeah, and, and the chorus is epic. I really enjoy that. And also at this point, I feel like this is like their most metalcore sounding album. The rest sound
Yeah, for
like
sure.
the rest sound like um, thrashy metal metalcore, kind of metalcore, like the older style. Um, Inception of the End. Um, it's a great song. Dusk Mismantled. Started out pretty heavy and it had a good mix of modern metalcore riffing and the metal death riffage. Watch the World Burn. I put Falling in Reverse, but good. Fun main riff. Not
Oh
the
man.
sounds nothing like a Falling in Reverse song. It's just the song title. Um, Black. As I think it's Black Descent. Um, oh, it's Black. It's Black.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Black.
Um, I think that's probably my least favorite off of this album.
Oh really? That's one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Damn.
I think
um,
it's one of their most underrated songs, honestly. But
and
yeah.
and the others, I'm gonna name a couple that I found kind of meh. I think it's Chose Reigns and all of these yesterdays. Um, and yeah, and I like this a little bit more. I found a good chunk of the songs that I didn't like before, pretty good, and I had this at very low A and high B tier.
Nice. So this is actually my second favorite album, or no, not second. There's another one that's my second favorite. This is my third favorite album by them. I really dig like the complete shift that they did from Shogun to this. This one has like a lot more atmosphere and there's a lot more like dissonance in it. That it's like you can't really notice it that much, but when you do notice it, it adds a nice atmosphere to it. And some of the songs have like almost black metal influence in them, like "Dusk Dismantled," which is probably their heaviest song too. I really love that one. That, along with "Inception of the End," "Caustic Are the Ties That Bind," and "Black," are probably my favorites. But again, like I love every song on this album. I also think that has really great pacing. So like if there's a song with like that's not as heavy, they'll follow it up with a song that is heavier. So it has a really great pacing that I appreciate.
Yeah. Uh, I put "Castic Are the Ties That Bind," a decent song, but apparently when I was listening to it, it went into a more like moody section,
It
and
did, and I love that part so much.
uh, that I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah, I remember Tommy called it melodic butt rock.
Bruh.
Like what?
All right then.
But yeah,
Um,
especially because like the rest of the song is like got some pretty heavy parts to it. But yeah, whatever.
yeah. I think the moody section kind of killed it for me, but if you enjoyed that, that's
Oh
perfectly
yeah,
fine.
that's one of the highlights of the album for me. Maybe I'm just lame,
Interesting.
but
No, that's fine. Um, so I have no problem putting this in A tier.
all right, yeah. If you had it, yeah, like B tier. I had this in S tier, but yeah.
I had it very low A, high B, so A tier
Oh,
works for me.
gotcha. Yeah, I had this in S personally.
Next album is Vengeance Falls. Fun fact: this was my first Trivium album, and I heard one song from it, and I was completely turned off from ever trying Trivium again. I was recommended a song from this album, and I found it extremely boring.
Wait,
um,
which song was it? Do you know?
I don't remember, no.
Oh, okay.
Um, so basically, I went for a couple years of not listening to Trivium, just having this negative thought about them, and then I was recommended Shogun, or I think it was Shogun, yeah, and then my mind completely changed. So, I will do say I had this as in D tier, but it did go up like one, and here is the reason. I thought Brave the Storm had an okay main riff. Um, Sounds like something similar from In Waves. Um, the title track, oh god, the title track I found was the intro riff was boring, and the constant like chugging and pull off riff got super old. I think it is it Strife. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Strife.
Okay, so I think the intro riff is cool, but like everyone else thinks like this is the only like, good song off this album. I personally never found it that great. I think it has a couple good riffs, but otherwise it's not my cup of tea. I had No Way to Heal as the best song so far. Um, but there was something you told me about a song on here that I'm because I'm reading through my notes. Um, to believe, I thought the chugging works when you are when it's in a fun rhythm, and thought to believe that chugging rhythm was pretty fun. And at the end of this war, sounds like a In Wave song. I thought at the end of this war was good. Um, Through Blood, Dirt, and Bone, I still don't like.
I don't
Uh,
either, honestly. I think it's pretty weak.
Villainy Thrives, I thought was boring, and I thought this was like everything I don't like about like modern metalcore was um, just like the chugging sections instead of like actual riffs that they had before. Um, and oh, you said the Broken World was your favorite off this, right?
Yeah, that and Strife are probably my two
Yeah.
favorites.
I found Broken World to be my favorite off of this, and
Oh,
I
nice.
thought Wake was just okay. So in my
Yeah,
bone,
Wake has some like good parts in it, but not like the best as a song.
yeah. I have this in C tier. It's not D tier anymore like it used to. It's C tier for me. So now it's your turn to talk about
Yeah,
this.
I had it in C tier too, so I think we can put it there pretty comfortably. But yeah, this really is just like it's just a watered down version of In Waves. Like everything that gave that album like all of its intensity and power just kind of faded away. And like I really think there's like good riffs in almost every song that I like. Um I do think it's Matt's worst vocal performance. It's probably I imagine it's because David Draymond from Disturbed was producing it and Matt's just like delivery changed so much. So I'm wonder if David Draymond had like something to do with that, like suggesting he tries different stuff. But yeah, a lot of his vocal delivery just does not sound good. Uh, one thing I will say, I love the guitar tone on this album. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
notice
pretty
that
neat.
before, but it sounds so good. And listened to the remaster that came out last year of this, and maybe it's just because it was the remaster, but I don't know. It's just never stuck out to me as much. But yeah, my favorites are Incineration, The Broken World, Strife, Brave the Storm, and No Way to Heal. Those are the songs that I'd say are pretty good or really good, but yeah, the rest I'd say are just like decent to all right ish.
Yeah, I think a watered down in ways is the best description you could say about it. Um, yeah, so basically this album just completely killed off Trivium for me for a while. So anyway, now we're at the album where I didn't want to get to. Um, so
The album that I did want to get to.
okay. So let me just state that this is my least favorite Trivium album, and I just want to say first, I love how the snare sounds. I think the snare is crispy. It sounds great. It sounds the production on this one is pretty great. It's awesome.
True.
Um, but I have a lot of issues. So basically, a lot of these songs start out promising, but they just fall off for me. So the title track, I thought the riff was neat and the chorus was cool. So you could say that I like the title track. No, is it the title track? No, is it?
Silence in the Snow.
Oh yeah, the Snowfall. Is it? Is that Snowfall?
Oh, the Snowfall's the intro track. It's just like a
Oh
symphonic
yeah,
piece.
the fucking Jesus.
I actually Isan from Emperor wrote that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh damn, that's neat.
Yeah, he did that, and then the like intro track to the new album to In the Court of the Dragon. But anyway,
All right, and I said blind leading. The intro was neat. The bridge riff was cool. The vocal melodies not really that catchy at all. Nothing besides like the first riff and bridge riff captivated me. I had Dead and Gone. I said Dead and Gone was super dumbed down, boring. Did not like it at all. Um, the Ghost That's Haunting You, also kind of meh. Uh, Pull Me from the Void. The intro again, okay, not much else. It had some decent guitar melodies. Um, yeah, until the world comes cold just sounds like an average metalcore song from the 2010s without like the screaming. Because if you didn't know, this is the only this is the only album where Matt doesn't like scream, and I think that was because he fucked up his voice or something. I
yeah,
can't
he did.
remember. Yeah, I thought the Beneath the Sun the pre-chorus was pretty fun. Um, everything else was kind of meh. Um, Breathe in the Flames had a decent groove. Uh, Cease Your Fire and The Darkness are just meh to me. So overall, this album to me feels like basically all the filler tracks from the previous albums, and they're just like, hey, let's just make an entire album of filler. But
But with
um,
7 strings now.
oh yeah, it sounds strange. All right, and now I'm gonna listen to the Silence in the Snow Defender talk about this album now.
Yeah, I fully accept that this is an unpopular and controversial opinion, but I love Silence in the Snow. Like, I don't think it's their best, of course. And I know it has a lot of problems, but for some reason, like a lot of the problems that people have with it click with me for no reason, really. I really like. guess I don't look at it from the same view that I do their other albums. I look at it more as like a instead like a heavy album with a lot of like intense riffs. I look at it more like a just a standard heavy metal or power metal album. And I think that's what probably made the album grow on me because I didn't like it at first, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the album that I really dig. Uh, Fun fact: the title track was originally a song for Shogun, and there's a demo of it with screaming, and it sounds pretty cool.
Oh damn, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, I'll send that to you later. But yeah, I also when I saw them, they opened with the title track, and it's so good live. I love Until the World Goes Cold. I think it's just a really pretty song. Corey has a lead melody during the chorus that just I don't know, it just like gets me, like it just hits hard.
Mm.
My other favorites are Blindly Leading the Blind, Beneath the Sun, and Dead and Gone. But yeah, like I fully accept that this isn't like a popular album to like, and it has a lot of problems, especially with missing the screaming vocals. But yeah, for some reason I just really love it.
Yeah, one other point that I did not like about this is that compared to like their other albums, this album is not very intense. I feel like they've really
Yeah,
lost their intensity on this album, um, which which for me, it can hinder because I'm Hayden, don't kill me, but not the song. The song quality is a way better than the album. I'm gonna say, but sometimes this reminds me of battles because
oh no.
because of the lack of intensity that they lost and how the intro or no, this reminds me of I the Mask sometimes because the intro like it's promising and then for me it falls flat. So for me, I have this at D, but I'm fully I will fully accept putting it in C tier.
Yeah, C is what I had it in B, so yeah,
Yeah,
C.
yeah. So yeah, that is finally the big disagreement over now.
Yeah, that's the last disagreement we'll have. So
Yeah. And then next we have the Sin and the Sentence. So this the next two albums are albums that I had to actually go back and listen to because I could not remember for the life of me of I couldn't remember at all like some of the songs. I thought the title track was decent. Beyond Oblivion, I thought was pretty good. Um, Other Worlds I didn't really like that much. The heart from your hate feels like something. It feels like I wrote feels like something that didn't make it to Silence in the Snow. Not great. Betrayer I thought it was a pretty decent track. The Wretchedness Inside, one of my favorites from this album. Endless Night I thought was meh. Sever the Hands pretty good too. Beauty and the Sorrow, one of my favorites. I think it might be my favorite off this album. And the rest of these songs, I thought were pretty good. So, overall, I have this in like above average. I have it in B tier.
okay, I lied what I said about not having disagreements because I love this album. A lot of the songs that you said you didn't like as much are my favorites actually.
Mm.
Like the title track is one of my favorite Trivium songs. Actually, when I saw them live, that was probably my favorite song, live at least. I don't know, it was just so good, and I love every part of that. I love all the influences. They have like a wider range of influences on this that I really enjoy. There's even like some melodic black metal riffs in the title track and Betrayer that are pretty cool.
I'll have to go back and
Uh,
listen to it for that one.
yeah, they're kind of you can't like hear them very well. The one in the title track is like the in the outro.
Mm.
Uh, and it's kind of buried by some like chugging, but yeah, you can kind of hear it. But anyway, Beyond Oblivion has one of the craziest riffs they ever wrote with that intro one. I've tried it. I've learned the song before, and that one is so hard to play throughout the whole song. I also really love Betrayer and Other Worlds. Those are really great songs. And Endless Night, I think, is really underrated. I feel like no Trivium fans ever talk about it, and I really like it. I do think it gets weaker as it goes on, kind of like Ascendancy, where the last couple of songs just don't feel as fleshed out as the rest of the album.
Mm.
And I had this at the top of A tier.
Um. Yeah, I had this in B tier. I am willing to put it right behind In Waves.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Um, yeah.
We're gonna get crucified for
Yeah.
having ascendancy so low.
We're literally gonna. I'm gonna post this in the server when we're done. So
Yeah,
I'm like, hey guys, here's a
have at it.
have at it. Try to fucking kill us.
And like I do love ascendancy. It just it has problems that make me like other albums more. So
Yeah, and yeah, like you said when like the hat like gets weaker as it goes on. I when I revisited Beauty and the Sorrow, I thought I was like, holy shit, this is wow. I really enjoyed that one, and I was pretty surprised that I'm like, why did I not remember this? Because I enjoyed this. All right, and another one that I pretty much could not remember for the life of me was what the Dead Men Say. Um, the title track is a banger. Is it Catathropis? Catathropis?
catastrophist.
Whatever. I thought it was an alright track. But it did get better as it went on.
Yeah, it gets really cool like halfway through.
Yeah. Amongst the Shadows, I thought it was a solid song. Bleed Into Me, alright. Um, is it the Defiant?
The Defiant.
The Defiant. Had pretty neat melodies. Sickness Unto You, decent song. Um, Scattering in the Ashes. I don't think you've ever heard of Jonathan Young, but he's a YouTuber that does like metal like anime fucking covers and other songs too. I don't know why I just wrote this down. I just said it reminds me of a Jonathan Young song.
I'll have to look into that.
Um, and blending the arc to fear. I thought it was intense and had good riffs. The Ones We Leave Behind. That was a good song. I had this low B high A tier.
Nice. So this album, I feel like actually grew on me more because I've always liked it, but never really like it's never been one that I revisit the most. But for some reason, it just like really hit me this time. This actually came out when I was getting into them, and I remember when it came out, we were on a family vacation, and I just listened to this album over and over again because I was so bored on the vacation, and I just kind of escaped to this album. And I feel like this is like almost like a throwback to like a mix of In Waves and the good parts of Vengeance Falls, which I know you don't like, but like the
Mm-hmm.
things I like about Vengeance Falls, it kind of has that like dark atmosphere come back, especially with songs like the title track and Amongst the Shadows and the Stones and Sickness Unto You. And I really like that. My favorite tracks are Amongst the Shadows and the Stones. I think that's easily one of my favorites by them. One of their most brutal songs, and also probably my favorite to play on guitar. It's a really fun one. And I also really love the title track and Sickness Unto You. Those ones are really great.
Yeah. I think the title track might be my favorite. If I as
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking at
so
my
great.
notes. All right. And so where did you have this ranked?
I had this at middle of A tier.
Okay.
I have this between The Sin in the Sentence and Ascendancy.
Um. Let's see. With the placement though, I'm not quite sure, cause I think the Sin in the Sentence has more songs that I like really enjoy. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, they're so close for me that I could take one over the other depending on the day. The Sin in the Sentence is better for like having just like a more diverse album with more influences, but What the Demons Say I think is better if you want like atmosphere. So yeah, either way, I think they're pretty even for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna place it like this then.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Okay, now we are at the final album, and before we even talk about it, I just want to say that um, because like I said, I don't surround myself with Trivium fans, so I have no idea what their perspective of this album is. But I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy In the Core of the Dragon. I got it in I listened to it from a album exchange,
I
and
think it's from me actually. I
I
think
think
I was the one that gave it to you.
was it you or was it Mazd?
I'm pretty sure it was me actually. While you
No.
talk about it, I'll check.
All right. So, I really like this album. Um, for me, it is on par with Shogun, just because of it's just banger after banger after banger. Um, the title track is so good. Like Crisis of Revelation is probably my favorite off of this because I don't. It's
Good
just
pick.
it's just the main riff, and the fact that it reminds me of Melodeath, and the shadow of the abattoir, I think, is how you
Yeah,
say it.
Abattoir.
Just beautiful. I love the melodies. I love the chorus. I love the verse. I everything. Um, the closer is fantastic. Isn't didn't you say that it was supposed to be on Shogun?
Yes, yeah, that was written for Shogun too. And there's a demo you can hear on Matt's channel of it. They had actually the bridge of it used to be the bridge that's in Torn Between Scylla and Charybdis off of Shogun.
Yeah. And looking at the track list, out of all these songs, I think the one that doesn't stick out to me the most is the Way Back Just Through. But I'm just gonna say that if I clicked play, I probably recognize it instantly. So, but yeah, in my personal opinion, it's on par with Shogun, and this is my second favorite album by them.
Nice. And yeah, even though Shogun's my favorite, I think it is very fair to say that this is their best album. This is like the culmination of everything they've ever done. There's like bits of every album that you can hear in this. It's just such a great mix of everything that's great about them. Um, I think four of the songs on this are pretty much masterpieces. The title track, Like a Sword Over Damocles, Shadow of the Abattoir, and The Phalanx are all incredible. Those last two, Shadow of the Abattoir and the Phalanx, I actually got to see live. They closed with those, and they are so good live. And one of my favorite things in the world, this is getting really nerdy, but is like the Elder Scrolls. And for the music video for the Phalanx, they did an Elder Scrolls Online video for it, and so pretty much like two of my favorite things got mixed for that music video, and I just love watching it. It makes me happy. But yeah, pretty much everything on this album is great. The only complaint I have about the entire album is the effect they use on Matt's voice on From Dawn to Decadence. Other than that, everything is I think is incredible.
I don't think I know what effect you're talking about.
It's just, I don't know. It's like some like distortion over it. It just kind of makes it quiet. And also, I guess I just don't love the vocal delivery of the verses on that
Uh,
song, but the chorus is so good on it.
I think my only complaint, even though I do like the guitar tone, I feel like the guitar tone has been so over. I don't know. It's just like how the chugs sound. It's not really my cup of tea. I still enjoy
Oh,
it.
really?
I still enjoy it. It's just I feel like because I feel like for some reason this reminds me of like cattle decap, like modern cattle decap,
Oh,
where
yeah, I could see that actually.
like for their most modern albums, like they just reuse the same guitar tone. It gets old. This just reminds me of like this album just reminds me of that sometimes. But I don't have. It's not really. It doesn't hinder my enjoyment. Because the riffs, of course, are come first out of everything that I listen to. Most things that I listen to that have riffs. So yeah. So my personal opinion, this is S tier.
Yeah, absolutely S tier. And I actually really love the chugs on this album because they changed up how they like pick, and they just are picking super aggressively. So
Yeah.
even when it's palm muted, it sounds like it's not palm muted. I just really dig that sound. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, S tier absolutely. And I could honestly advocate for putting this above Shogun just because it feels so complete.
Yeah. True.
And also, they're 10 albums into their career and still putting out their best music. I think it's so great.
Yeah. I think the fact that they came out with like this this late in their career is amazing because um they're I would call them like an old band at this point. That's not they're not like a 90s band. They're like they came out in the early 2000s.
But yeah, it's been over 20 years since their debut now, so
Yeah. So,
kind of getting up there. But they still sound like young and invigorated.
yeah, I know it's amazing.
And Matt just sounds better than ever right now, at
I
least on recordings. Maybe not so much live, but
I haven't really seen that much live footage. But yeah, he sounds great on this album. So basically, um, I'm pretty happy with this tier list. There are some like tweaks I would make personally, but overall, I think since we both have contributed to this tier list, I think I could pretty much agree with this, as long as honestly as long as Shogun and In the Court of the Dragon are in S tier, then most tier lists are fine, unless you say something shitty about Emperor to Inferno and have it in Z tier, then I will say something. But
I
yeah,
used to do that. I'm sorry.
bruh.
Please forgive me.
It's the past.
But no, I
Sauce.
really like that album now. So
Great.
just took some time to grow on me.
Yeah, that's how I was with Dead Man Saying Sin, The Sentence, and In Waves. So literally the entire A tier. Right. So are you happy with this tier list? Does it look fine to you?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway, this video went longer than I thought. So we're just gonna stop it here, and I appreciate you, Hayden, for coming and ranking your favorite band's albums with me.
Of course, thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully we can do another one in the near future.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, see you guys, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. See ya.